Welcome back to Egypt Old Kingdom. We're going to be looking at wrapping up the third dynasty in this particular session. And our goal here is mainly to keep growing the population and get as much production as we can get in advance of the next sixth trial, which will begin at the end of this dynasty. So we're going to boost our workers one here. We talked a bit about the Tomb of Djoser last time around. And in-game description pretty much the same. Designed by Imhotep. We have mastabas of decreasing sizes stacked on top of each other. Indeed, a key landmark in the development of Egyptian construction. All kinds of expeditions have been finished. Now we can grab another population worker now that we've finished the housing repair. So we do need to change up the way we're building our tombs, though, because we can't afford to keep going at that particular scale. So I am going to drop them back down to medium, and we'll go to the mastabas. That's still bigger than the small mastabas I was making before, but we're just going to pump the brakes a bit. And there's actually a good historical reason to do that for our next ruler, which we'll get to in a little bit. And building will eventually shift back out to this map. And it's going to come here. So we're going to stop that expedition because we won't be able to finish it anyway. And then let's resume some exploration. I also don't want to wait any longer before I start assimilating the bull people. So let's begin that process. And I'm going to... We've got a couple possibilities over here. What I want to do is, this isn't a great expedition. We're not getting a ton out of this. We're going to yank you. And you can work on bringing in some more luxuries there. Then let's do some additional trade. I think this is the best. It doesn't actually, because if we do the trade aspect, okay, 1.2, 2.4. This one looks better. But trading here with the wells situation is actually not quite as good. So we'll come here. The nut people want to attack. Thankfully, not a hugely powerful attack. We should be able to fight that off. Blessing of Hapi and Seekers. Over Congo, we'll move on to Ghana. So, from a culture standpoint, we really don't have much choice other than continuing, because we need to get both Hapi and Seeker in order to continue growing our population. And we really can't afford more than that, given the cost of them. So, we're just kind of going to stick with that for the time being. Then we have another worker that is in. Where should we deploy you, I wonder? This is not that great, but it's doing okay. I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm thinking even more trade, possibly, to bring in some more luxuries. Or we could pop in... You know, it might not be a bad idea to start getting more favor in here. I think I'll do that. Then we could bring these antelopes in and just keep gathering up the available animals. Now I do want to also advance with our next approach, which is going to be mummification procedure to boost what we get from the tombs. Talked a little bit about this before when we dealt with medicine, but defying death was the foundation of a complex mummification ritual. Preservation of the body was essential for the return of the soul. Internal organs been removed, and the body was dried out, then filled with fragrant substances, covered in oil and gum, and wrapped. And the whole mummification bit is, of course, one of the things that Egypt is most famous for. So I don't think we need to spend a lot of time there. Okay, there's our next tomb. More exploration. So the tomb of Sekhmet. Now, interestingly enough, his tomb basically does look like a mastaba, but it wasn't intended to be. It was intended to be a massive step pyramid that would in fact rival the Pyramid of Giza. Sekhemket did not live nearly long enough to see it completed. We think the reign was about 6 to 8 years. I don't know a lot about what happened during it. Possibly a brother or an eldest son of Djoser, but wasn't around very long, so tomb was left sort of as it was. Now we need to move up here, and this won't automatically proceed unless you tell it to. So we're going to continue on with that. And we have more exploration to happen now. Okay, Seth fired, but still is around. Both people have joined us. Excellent. We've also colonized this area. And this would be a very nice luxuries expedition. It might be worth considering taking that one and canceling this one when that one's done. I'm not sure. Anatolia. And now Mesopotamia. Again, going further and further afield. Let's go ahead and clear out this sand, though, before we do anything else. Okay. More and more workers available to us. Now, since we've gotten all of the Bull People area, we would like more luxuries, and we would also like, because we're trading here, I'd like to begin assimilating here, but I don't think we can really afford to put a bunch into that just yet. I would like to get this area. It would be another nice production expedition, but we need to clear out the marshes first. See here, this I think is a pretty unimpressive. Yeah, that's a pretty unimpressive luxuries one. We could get some resources from there, so that's possible. We have dye. Interesting. I think you're probably also going to be another small. Yep. Now here we have infrastructure possibilities. So we could boost food or boost culture. So both those probably worth considering. We could try and get rid of the wells in that area. Probably have enough people for that. Although, I think we've actually got better ways to invest our population. We are down to not as great of a boost here. So I want to throw in one additional farmer. Get our food back up. And then I think I want to keep going on developing some of this favor. So you are almost there. Let's work on these hyenas next. There aren't a lot of animals left. And, well, actually, let's just plop you down here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so now we still have the 10 plus, and we're working on a couple of the different animals here. I think that's a sensible approach. And onward goes the work on the tombs. Yikes. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. We can domesticate the antelopes. This was a nice... this is an area we need to have somebody, though. So... I'll spend the amount to domesticate. But then... I'm actually going to... You know, we'll yank you out, I think. Because we need this being worked. Need it, need it, need it. And then... Yeah, I think we'll hold there for now. The nut people are raiding. And failing, I may add. Another expedition, who seem to be holding fairly steady or losing slightly on our production, which is unfortunate, but hopefully it will be able to gradually improve that. Cat-people relations, I'd really like to start assimilating them, but just can't swing it just yet. Partly because the scarab people are just being really resistant. And there's our next tomb. Vulture people are improving. Okay. So, the Tomb of Kaba. And Kaba is probably the one from the Third Dynasty that we know the least about. We know that Kaba ruled, we're pretty confident, sometime in the later half of the Third Dynasty. And that's it. Relation to successors, exact place in the timeline, anything that Kaba did. Not a whole lot of confidence there. Okay, continue exploring. They're letting us know the new trial will be coming. Of course, we're starting to save up some, but then we need to re-up. And I don't think I can quite afford... Let's see. Well, maybe I can. I'll hit Osiris one more time here. Just get that extra little bit of boost here. Yep. And then I would also like to grab architectural standardization, reducing our construction costs. That'll help with everything that we're trying to get done, production-wise. The pyramids built in the era of the most fortunate kings became a model for future rulers, creating an architectural standard using accumulated knowledge and expertise. There still was some individual variation, but basically learning from those who have gone before and not trying to reinvent the wheel if certain challenges in the construction had already been solved. Okay. Scarab people have finally been assimilated. We can grab another person here, and the Horn of Africa. So now on to India. For this time frame, that's quite a wide-ranging expedition. So now I wonder if we might be able to get away with doing some promotion here. We're still negative, but we're not negative by that far. You're almost finished here. And I don't see a great deal else that I want at the moment. If we look at this, we're up to 32. If we grab the cat people, we'll be getting close. So that would be nice. This looks like a really nice area. But I still think I need to just lean into the favor. I think that's going to be as beneficial as anything that I can really do at this point. So you go back in and resume that. Swamp has been drained. Okay, we have a bonus where? Well, that's a nice place to have one. More ancestral duties. The swamp being drained here. Alright. So let's mount another expedition there. Just broadening our production efforts. And you need to stop now because for the same reason, we're going to need to build here before too much longer. So we're getting lots of food coming in, which is great and eventually should benefit us through the continued expansion of our labor pool. Well, we've got now these antelopes. Or we have this. I think this is the best remaining one to get, really. So let's go ahead and begin that. It'll be a long process. It does add that little bit more favor onto what we have coming in. And there's our final tomb of the Third Dynasty. We get another plus 40 favor. Cat-people relations are up to friendly. And the tomb of Huni, who reigned for about 24 years, and some people consider him sort of the first ruler of the golden age of the Old Kingdom, as we're about to jump into the Fourth Dynasty. But we actually don't know that much. Was definitely involved in some building projects of some kind, but the records are fairly damaged that we've been able to get that information from, so we're not able to surmise exactly what those projects are. But we have completed that aspect, and we'll be jumping into the Fourth Dynasty next time. Let's see, where are we at exactly here? 69%, okay. Gradually making progress on all fronts. We've managed to hold pretty steady on production. I'd like for it to have gone up further, but at least we're continuing to boost that effort. And we will be jumping into the Fourth Dynasty and the next trial when we return. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. Egypt Old Kingdom will continue.